Galactic Standard Date. Year 11356. Day 96. Sol Standard Date. 4th of the 8th, 3267. Morelia stared at the towering figure with awe. She could feel the power radiating off of him like a tsunami. Strangely enough, she didn't feel pressured as she looked at him, as she would be when confronted with one of her own race. One of the first things she saw were his wings. They were massive and unlike anything she had ever seen. They looked big enough that she could easily hide her whole body behind one. His wings were majestic to her. The massive creature turned and gave her a curious stare. Once his eyes locked with her, she felt a chill, unlike any before. Then she realized what he was, what she was feeling. Death, she whispered. The figure rose upon hearing that word, and she noticed pain and sadness in his eyes, before he took a deep breath and spoke.
Yes, I am Death. The fact that you could tell without ever having seen one of my kind before is disheartening. But I will fulfill my role properly one day. For now, I am simply here to save your people. The only ones who I'm planning on killing today are the big tentacle freaks, he said with a deep sigh. He shrugged and then gave her a half smile. Normally we start with introductions, but being out of order is fine too. My name is Basilius. What's yours, and what are you doing here all alone?
Morelia's voice squeaked a little as she spoke. My name is Morelia, she said with a barely audible whisper. Basilius sighed internally as he took in the body language of the diminutive wasp girl. Her antennae were pressed to her head and she was fidgeting. Her abdomen was twitching, and she was trying to maintain eye contact, but she kept looking to the side. She was clearly afraid of him, so he knelt down and held out his hand a few feet away from her.
It's okay, Morelia. I am not going to hurt you. There is no need to fear me. I will keep you safe.
Morelia slowly looked at him and shook her head no. I can't. I am wingless. My presence will dirty you. As soon as she finished her sentence, green flames with black cores flared up along his body, and she stumbled back in fright as his eyes narrowed. She could see and feel the sudden bout of anger he had, and it had terrified her. He clenched his fist a little before calming himself down.
I apologize for scaring you. I got a little angry when you said that, because it sounds like your people treat you like you are filth simply because you're wingless. Is that actually the case?
Morelia simply nodded as she tried to curl up and hide from him, and Basilius took a deep breath.
It looks like I'm going to have to teach your people how to not be dicks. Can't do that unless I save them, though.
He sat down and patted the ground in front of him. She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and scooted over to him. She was used to being kicked around when she got too close to people, so she was mentally waiting for the end as she got closer and closer. After all, there's no way she would survive a kick from a being whose foot was nearly as big as she was. The closer she got, the more her body trembled, but she had accepted her fate and finished crawling the last couple of feet to where the giant sat. She stared at the ground after she sat up and waited. She saw his arm moving in her peripheral vision, and her body jerked away involuntarily. She looked up expecting anger, but all she could see was a deep sadness. I'm sorry. I don't know if I can... Amram sighed and hopped off of Basilius' back, keeping her childlike size as she walked around the massive man. Morelia stiffened under the gaze of the small being. Even though she was the same size as Morelia was, she was sure he could never fight, let alone escape. Amram sighed again with a dead look in her eyes and kicked the dirt. Come on, Percy, pick up the stray and let's go. These people are dying in droves the longer it takes you to deal with this girl. Pitiful as she may be, similar stories exist throughout the galaxy, and they were even common on Earth before you took over. Not to mention there could be some other reason that she was unilaterally shunned. Probably a criminal. Morelia closed her eyes tight and clenched her fists. I just wanted to be useful to my people. That's all. I never stole. I never hurt. I only wanted to work. I only wanted to be a member of my own species. I was cast aside for my wings alone, she said with gritted teeth as tears welled up. Amram smiled as Basilius reached down and patted her head. She sat down at his side and thought, and that's a job well done. Morelia initially flinched as his hand gently patted her head, but she could feel the anger, sadness, and fear slowly dissipating. Basilius pulled his hand back from her head and set it on the ground in front of her, palm up. Climb on up! I'll take you with me when this is all over. I'll just give you a pair of wings. You'll be safer with me than without anyways. She stared at Basilius for a moment, before she took a deep breath and stilled herself to ask this question. Just now, you said that you can give me wings, right? You can make me useful. You aren't just playing a cruel joke? He looked and gave her a smile and said, Oh, we can give you way more than just wings. Wings are easy.
Now hurry and climb on, for real. Otherwise there won't be any of your people left to save.
With a dainty and cautious step, she climbed up into his hand before he lifted her with ease onto his back. Amaranth chuffed at the fact that her spot was stolen, but took it in stride. She transformed into her true form as a massive dragon, much to Morelia's dismay. As she watched what looked like a being that matched her in size grow to be even larger and scarier than Basilisk. What the fuck? You were a massive demon creature this whole time? Oh shit, I'm gonna die.